everyone. I am Aditi and this is Mrinal, and welcome to yet another episode of HELIOS Talks. Today, we are honored to welcome Parv Aswani, a distinguished alumni of SRCC GBO, who is currently working as a senior analyst at Accenture. With a robust background in data analytics and marketing strategies, he has successfully transitioned from being a student at our college to excelling in one of the most competitive roles in the industry.
Parv's journey is marked by academic excellence, practical experience, and passion for data driven decision making. His ability to navigate complex data sets and translate them into findings of actionable strategies has made him a sought after expert in this field. In this podcast, we will delve into Parv's experiences, challenges, and advice for aspiring analysts. So get ready for a fascinating conversation that will provide us with both valuable insights and inspiration. So, Perv, going forward, as you were a part of Delhi University for quite some time, and as you have been a part of Khalsa College as a business economics student, as well as a part of SRCC GBO, so can you tell us a bit about your background and how you got into the field of analytics?
Sure. So, as you mentioned, I did my graduation, post-graduation both from Delhi University. And when I was in my graduation, I was going through this phase. I was exploring different fields. So, I did a lot of internships and life projects in market research, marketing, finance, and analytics. And I think this is the best approach to go into the field and then decide in which field you are interested. So I always started with this eliminating thing. For example, I knew I never wanted to go into HR. Then I eliminated market research, and I narrowed it down. I was a bit interested in finance, and I knew that I had a lot of interest in analytics as well after doing some projects. So that was the thing. This is how I decided that I'll explore more into analytics, and then there are more tools, and created some projects and did a few courses as well. Yeah.
So that was quite interesting and insightful. So when we were researching about you, we got to know that you are the part of the placement cell in both your undergraduate as well as your postgraduate. So what is your relationship between post getting into Placecom and you choosing it every time? So and how did it help you in building your corporate career?
See, in UG, I had no such plan of joining placement cell. When I entered in Delhi University, everyone told me that you had to get into societies because it is Delhi University. You won't get any experience by just going to classes and returning home. So, just luckily, when on the second or third day only there were registrations happening, so I registered my name in various societies. So, since I was part of business economics, I registered for economic society, and then uh, there was no such plan. The second desk was for placement cell, and I, alongside my friend, we just registered into it. We gave the group discussion interview, and I just got into it. There was no any plan in UG. But then, when my seniors came, they gave us work. They told us how things happen here. I started connecting with HR, so I got this confidence in placement cell, which I don't think any other society provided, at least in my college, because it was an off-campus college. So there were not a lot of options also for societies. I mean, there were basic societies, and then I started working. I started connecting with HR, so it improved my communication skills. And there's always a bridge between the corporate and the classroom things. So it gave me that confidence writing emails, and even the written communication skills I improved a lot. And obviously, it helps a lot in networking. You can connect with the alums, which I don't think it helps in other societies. So, because I had this experience with Placecom, so when I joined MBA in SRCC, it was my priority that I had to get into Placecom in MBA as well. So, even in MBA, it helped me a lot. I mean, my mentors in my Placecom in UG and in MBA, I'm still connected to them. They are always ready to help, and I have the same relation with my juniors as well. So, I think that relation building is also better in Placecom. Yeah.
Wow, I think that was quite insightful and informative. And I guess everyone who will be watching this will find this really, really informative. Okay, so Pav, I was just wondering that during the first year, you were a part of all the internship processes, as well as you were doing live project with BOD. So, what were your key takeaways during that live project, and how we as juniors we should approach live projects and internship opportunities that come into our college?
So I would say today, like there are a lot of options available for at least for live projects. So the thing that I mentioned in my previous answer is if you are into that exploring stage, you should do multiple live projects so that you can eliminate. Okay, if you are not sure, so like in BOD, I did market research live project. So after doing that, I had this feeling that this was not very interesting, at least for me. So I don't want to get into this. I was 100% sure. So you can do multiple live projects and then decide okay, in which field you want to explore more, so that you can apply into internship accordingly. Because in these schools you cannot apply to multiple companies at once, right? For internship, so you have to go when you go for it, and only live project will help you in that. You can do in finance, HR, analytics. You'll get multiple opportunities. There are multiple options, and even the faculty helps. As you mentioned, BOD consulting, our faculty only help us get into that, and I think that comes every year for live project. So live projects gives a pathway for your internship journey. Where do you want to go?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was very helpful, Perf. So apart from that, like yeah, that you have mentioned that we can get the life project through faculty. So apart from that, are there any other ways through which we can also get life projects or internship opportunities outside the campus? How
Uh,
students can approach
yeah.
that?
So I think one thing that I did was apart from reaching out to faculty, you can also reach out to faculty of your previous colleges, because faculty members really help in that, and you can reach out to your alums, see if they can help you in that. And I think intern shala and there are other LinkedIn posts which can help you. That you can use some chat GPT prompts on how to reach out on LinkedIn for that. So these are the sources that I used for it.
Okay, also, uh, apart from internships as well as live project, I think you must have done a lot of case competitions as well. So, what was the approach that you used personally for approaching any case competition? Because we are also now a part of case competitions. We go into the initial rounds, but we get rejected in the upcoming round. So, what advice do you give us?
See, first, I would say to get some experience on how these things work, you should apply to case competitions from a bit not so renowned colleges. Okay, if you're directly, for example, I first registered for a case competition which was organized by Flipkart. There were lakhs of students in those. Okay, it is very difficult to come even in top 10 for these. So to get some confidence, get some experience in this case competition, you should go for colleges in which you know that there won't be a lot of registration, maybe a few thousand students will be there, so that you can reduce the competition. And once you have that confidence, once you come in the top 10, top 5, or top 3, top 3 is basically you won that, so then you can go for such competitions. And obviously when so I think the first round is of assessment, normal MCQ questions, and when you get into the PPT round, uh, create the first draft of the presentation and go for advice from maybe a senior who have won previously, or maybe some faculty members who are into strategy, and or maybe who teach that subject on basis of which the case competition is being held. Gain their advice, then then you can go for it, I think. And the presentation skills, obviously it will improve as you go on to the competition. So basically the thumb rule is to not go for very renowned colleges, and go for the basic ones first, and then go for renowned colleges, because you also need to mention, if you want to mention in your CV that you won case competition, it will only impact you if you have mentioned from IIMs, any top IIMs college, or FMS. So then go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so like as you have mentioned, that's very helpful. So I just wanted to ask that we all are going through the interview phases. The juniors are applying for
Mhm.
internships and we are applying for placement. So what are the
Mhm.
specific hard skills that you think that individual must have if they want to get into or crack interviews well? So how do you think they play a role?
So I think, yeah, it is a mixture of all the hard skills, soft skills, and even the psychological mindset, I would say, because after one rejection, everyone it becomes difficult for many people, because it is not easy to take failures. And so I would say you should focus on all these things simultaneously. And if you are into a field, for example, I can talk about analytics. You should have something to show, some projects, some basic skills into that. uh, I don't think they would expect hardcore coding from you if you are entering into that field, but obviously they would expect basic Excel skills from you. And to portray that, because everyone can say that I know how to use Excel, but you should have something to portray that as well. You should have some projects into that, from that coding, or from that software that you're saying, maybe Excel, Tableau, Power BI, anything. And to this one is about the technical skills. To go into another, everyone should have a basic document of general questions wherein they should know answer to these questions, which is asked almost in all the interviews. Basic introduction. If you are going for placement, then you should have a summary of your internship. What impact did you do in your internship? Everything, the projects, some hobbies. And I mean, these questions will be answered 90% of the times. So you should have a structure which should be followed in every interview. And
That's
of course, I talked
So
about
like,
failure. Sorry. Yeah. So I was saying about failure. So everyone will face failures and rejections in interviews. So that should not
right.
impact your confidence level, because obviously
right.
a company, if it is coming, they won't hire everyone, everyone who's applying. So you should have that mindset when you're going into the interview, that it's okay if I get rejected. It's fine. Yeah.
So that was quite interesting, and I was just thinking about that last week when we had a company for our internship. So I also got rejected in the later stages. So many people don't take failures like you said. So what were was there any part in your life where you failed and you felt down, and then you wanted to overcome from that? So what did you do to overcome that? Like many companies are now coming for us, so they will take only a handful of people for the internships and placements. So, do you advise them? How to deal with failures?
See, I mean, obviously, it is very difficult. If I share one example for internship only, it was the first company that came to our campus, and the failure part becomes more difficult when you get rejected in the later stages, in
Exactly.
the final stages.
Hmm.
So yeah, so for my first internship, I was in the top three of the final stages. Out of those three, two got selected, and I was not one of those two. So in this scenario, for a particular time, if anyone comes to you and say कि ठीक है भाई, you will get selected in the next round, next company, more companies are coming, nothing will make sense. You'll just be like कि मेरी किस्मत खराब है, I
मेरी
should have
किस्मत
done
खराब है.
better,
Hmm.
ठीक
Right.
है, everything. But one thing that I would say, the company in which I got hired for internship, it was way better than the first. Maybe not in all the terms, but that company, that was a startup, that profile and the projects that I did in that internship helped me a lot to crack Accenture. I mean, my second technical round in Accenture, it was basically 70% of that interview, not 70, 50 to 60% of that interview was based on my internships projects, because it was into analytics only, and the role in my placement, it was also of analytics only. So that helped me a lot. So everything happens for a reason, and I believe in that. So you should just wait for that perfect opportunity, and you'll get the opportunity that you deserve, and that will help you a lot in future. Yeah.
So that's very helpful. So I just wanted to ask, as a fresher, how did you differentiate yourself with the people who have industry experience? Like while interviewing you, you were sitting with those people only. So what are the things
Yeah.
that you did differently that differentiated you?
So I would say it depends on field to field. If I'm again, I'll talk about analytics only. So first, I had to create a niche in analytics also. In analytics, there are a lot of softwares. I would say, as I mentioned, Excel is the basic one. Everyone is expert, and everyone will have that. That won't differentiate you. I did two certifications. That will also not differentiate, because everyone will do that. But creating projects is one thing that will differentiate it from others. Then going for some certification that has a credible value, because nowadays what happens is everyone does certification from Udemy, Coursera, and there was one more, I think,
Right.
Forage. It was. all these things,
For us, yeah.
anyone can get that. Yeah, anyone can get that, and even the recruiters know that, so there's no value in that.
Recruiters know.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you want to get certifications, then get from a renowned name. For example, I did a certification from Microsoft for Power BI. So I knew, okay, it has some value. If the recruiter will see this, they will. There is a chance that they will ask about this. But if you write under certifications, data analytics from Coursera or from Udemy, they won't even ask anything because anyone can do that. Even if you play the videos in Coursera and leave it on autoplay, you'll get a certificate. So where's the proof? Okay. And even Microsoft certification, maybe they'll give you a point to write or a point to discuss, but the main thing that will be the topic of discussion will again be the project. If you have done any project in Power BI, I mean in Tableau, whatever field. So first go for learn some skills, learn some software, Excel, and then after Excel, create, maybe you can go for Power BI Tableau if you are into visualizations. If you like coding, you can go to R, Python. This will also require some stats knowledge because the machine learning models that we create on R and Python, they require stats knowledge. So as I mentioned, you need to create a niche. If you are into visualizations, go for Power BI or Tableau. If you are into creating models, then learn some stats and learn Python and R, any one or both if you have that time, and then create some projects. Creating projects is any day more useful than getting certifications. So this is how I differentiated. I think I created 4 projects in Power BI, 3 to 4 projects in Power BI, 2 in Excel. So I had this link where you can click on. I had this link on LinkedIn, and in my CV also I pasted that, my portfolio, you can say. And a few other people also did this. For if you are into finance, few people did this in financial modeling. They created financial models, DCF models
Right.
for various companies. Yeah. And
So,
whenever you see that a lot of people are doing this, sometimes this happen in financial model, maybe a lot of people are creating financial models, then you need to again maybe get into a subject in finance only, maybe create a equity research report. Basically what everyone is doing, you should go in a different direction.
yeah, we should do
Yeah.
something to stand out of the crowd.
Yeah.
So, this was quite interesting. Okay, I was also wanting to ask this question, but she asked you. And what I also want to know that many of we as juniors, we are just new to this MBA background, and we sometimes face a lot of pressure, work pressure, or society's pressure, and all of these. So, how can we handle these pressures effectively? I should say, because we have to do a lot of uh, projects as well as we have to do assignments, and midterms are coming up, and we have to do a lot of society's work as well. So, how can we manage all this so that we do not lack in one area? So, can you please tell us some advice on that?
See, I think it is just a habit thing, because especially for first year, second years won't ask this question because now they have this habit. Okay? They are okay to
Yep.
take the pressure. In first year, everyone feels that, and I think it is October, right? You won't be asking this question in, I think, November, maybe, because it is the first 3 to 4 months which we have the most pressure. So once you get into that habit, it is fine. It won't matter much. But still, for the first initial months, you should create a priority list and go step by step, because all the tasks will keep on coming and it will keep on piling if you don't do it. Maybe the projects,
Hmm.
assignments, the presentations that you have to do, and apart from that, you have to also appear for case competitions. You have to prepare for your internships. So I would suggest just create a priority list and go step by step so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And as I mentioned, it is just for the first 3 4 months. Then you will enjoy this pressure, and you will miss this sometimes in making the after GBO, after MBA. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that was
I just wanted to ask that.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that how is your experience at Accenture? Like, how are you liking the Accenture, the work environment? Was it something? And how is the work pressure, like work-life balance? Everybody talks about. So how is it?
So, see, I mean, work-life balance is pretty good, and it this question depends on the work that you're doing. If you're not enjoying your work, then work-life balance would be much worse. But I am into a field which I enjoy. I enjoy doing the work. So, even if it goes past the time, I still enjoy it. I don't mind, but till now it hasn't, and it is pretty good. Even the work culture, the people, they are very helpful, because even I like analytics, but if you get into an organization, it is a bit difficult to catch on the projects and what is being done. So it was a bit not difficult, but it is a new thing. So you need some hand holding, you need some time, to get into that pace. So everyone has been really helpful till now. So good work culture, good people, and work-life balance, good. But I would suggest that people should not make work-life balance a priority when they are entering into corporate. If you get that, it is good. It's on your luck, but you should not make that your priority.
Okay. So we had a lot to talk about what we need, what we do, and careers and all. So I want to ask you a very personal question that is very close to my heart. So as we are a part of MBA and I'm a junior, so we are creating a lot of memories that we will later on remember. So is there any particular memory that is very close to your heart that you still remember right now, even when you are doing when you are doing your job as a senior analyst in Accenture? So is there any particular memory that still is in your mind and your heart?
That's that's a very difficult question. I mean, I have a lot of memories with GBO. When you were asking this question, there was a flash of a lot of memories. There was a day in first year when I got my internship, and there was this day in first year only in the second semester when one of my friends in our group got his internship, and we went to party. And I mean, there are a lot. One day, maybe the alum dinner for the second year, because as you guys know, I mean, the second year guys know, the alum dinner is kind of a farewell only, because it is the last day for
Right.
GBO. So it was on 27th April, the alum day, and coincidentally, it was my birthday as well. So the party was really great, and we went to after party as well, and it was a mix of emotions. We have last day. I know I'll not see a lot of people in this group. I mean, it becomes difficult to catch up with a lot of friends after MBA or after graduation. So I would say that was one of the best days. I cannot say the best day because had a lot, but one of the best days was the alum dinner last year.
Okay. So that was that was good to know. Like all the memories starting to flashback already.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask the question that I wanted to ask is why did you choose MBA? I should have asked it initially, but I just got a sense of it. So, but why did you choose MBA? Why did you get into MBA?
this this feels like a question that I got when I got into GBO. They were also asking the same question.
Right.
But here I can be honest. I don't know. I had to specialize in something after graduation. Nowadays, you need a degree, and I knew I don't
Degree.
want to do masters, and MBA is something that gets you into corporate more easily. So, this is the real answer. There's no particular reason. Wanted to explore. I wanted to land a good job, and without MBA, that is not possible today. Just on the basis of graduation, so that's why I did MBA. Why SRCC? I can tell that great faculty. SRCC, everything is great. Even the ROI, we get good, decent amount of companies. Faculty is good, and even I got good peer-to-peer learning as well. Good friends. So everything was great here. Yeah.
So, Parv, I think we are short on time. So, on a closing note, I would like to ask you one last question if you're comfortable with it. So, is there any last advice that you want to give all the students, especially your juniors, that how they should approach career in analytics if they want to pursue their career in analytics? Because analytics is nowadays a buzzword, as everyone is talking about analytics and all. So, what advice would you want to give to the juniors about this?
I think I mentioned a lot of points in previous answer. It would be the same only, that create a niche. Okay, go with some softwares, create some projects on that. If you're going into certifications, then clear some certification that have some credible value. This would remain same. Apart from that, one thing, because I have experienced this and this happens in all the B schools, don't get into FOMO. uh, Always remember your field, because a lot of times it happens that a lot of people are getting internship placement, your friends, your group, everyone is getting placed or getting internships. Then you start going into any company that is coming to hire. So don't forget your niche. You'll get your chance. So, as I mentioned, I think in the second or third answer, that psychological pressure, it is very important to understand that. Just focus on the companies, and it doesn't matter if you are getting into startup. Uh, if you are getting an option of a startup company in analytics field, and you're getting a good company, but it is maybe HR, finance in a field in which you are not interested, any day pick profile over company. Okay, so this
Uh,
would be one advice, that you have to be psychologically very strong for this. Don't get into FOMO.
So thank you, Pav. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights and taking out your very precious time for us. Your journey was quite inspiring, and I'm sure that many of us will benefit from your advice. It's been a pleasure, and I will always encourage all these aspiring analytics students to be curious, keep learning, and never stop exploring new opportunities. The field of analytics is constantly evolving, and there's always something new to discover. Thank you again, Pad, for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.